ਦ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ ਸ਼ੋਅ ਦੇ ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਐਪੀਸੋਡ ਵਿੱਚ ਆਪ ਸਭ ਦਾ ਨਿੱਘਾ ਸਵਾਗਤ ਹੈ। ਮੈਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੁਹਾਡਾ ਹੋਸਟ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਸਿੰਘ, ਸਰੀ, ਬ੍ਰਿਟਿਸ਼ ਕੋਲੰਬੀਆ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਤੋਂ। ਅੱਜ ਦੇ ਇਸ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਯੂਕੇ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਜਾ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇਣਗੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ। ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਲਿਖੀ ਹੈ ਜਿਊਲਸ ਫਰਮ ਸਿੱਖ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ, ਅ ਜਰਨੀ ਆਫ ਡਿਸਕਵਰੀ। ਇੱਕ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਕਿਤਾਬ ਜਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਨੇ ਕਨਸੈਪਚੁਅਲਾਈਜ਼ ਕੀਤਾ ਅਤੇ ਕੰਪਾਈਲ ਕੀਤਾ, ਜਿਸ ਵਿੱਚ ਕਿ ਸਿੱਖੀਜ਼ਮ ਬਾਰੇ ਬਹੁਤ ਸਾਰੀ ਇਨਫੋਰਮੇਸ਼ਨ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਮਿਲ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸੋ ਇसी ਸੰਬੰਧ ਵਿੱਚ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ ਕਿ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜ਼ਿਕਰ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਜੋ ਹੈ ਇਸ ਦੀ ਕੀ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਸ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਿੱਖਣ ਦੀ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ। ਅੱਜ ਬਾਣੀ ਤਾਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਪੜ੍ਹ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ, ਪਰ ਕਿਤੇ ਉਹ ਸਿਰਫ ਰੱਟੇ ਤੱਕ ਤਾਂ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀਮਤ ਰਹਿ ਗਈ। ਕੀ ਅਸੀਂ ਬਾਣੀ 'ਚੋਂ ਸਿੱਖਣਾ ਹੈ, ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਅੱਜ ਅਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰਾਂਗੇ। ਐਂਡ ਆਰ ਟਾਕ ਵਿਲ ਬੀ ਇਨ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼। ਸੋ ਲੈਟਸ ਵੈਲਕਮ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਟੂ ਦ ਪ੍ਰੋਗਰਾਮ। ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਜੀ ਆਇਆਂ ਨੂੰ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ ਜੀ।
Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh Ji. Thank you for having me on your show.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure having you.
And
And first of all, I would like to congratulate you for your excellent book. It is a masterpiece, and I would recommend that every Sikh should have that book in their home because you learn a lot from that. So, congratulations for that wonderful book.
thank you so much, Harpreet Ji. But ਇਹ ਸਭ ਉਸ ਦੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਦੇ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਤੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ। ਸਾਡਾ ਇਹਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ। How he got me into this book is a different story altogether. But we'll talk about that one day.
Absolutely. I would love to have a great discussion on that particular book, how it came into being. So, today's focus would be from the book only. What you have brought forward is that we all read Japji Sahib every day. It's a part of our nickname. But many times we even don't understand what we are reading. You're not a scholar, you claim, and your interest towards Sikhi is really interesting. How did this all start? How did you start, delving deep into the basic writings and understand it? And now it has come in the form of the book also. So, how did this all start, Harinder Singh ji?
Virji, basically, ਕੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ I was brought up in a Sikh household with values about Sikh Dharma by my parents. I've, of course, learned by questioning certain rigid beliefs. And I've learned a lot from wise pracharaks like Bhai Sahib, Pinder Pal Singh Ji, Veer Manpreet Singh Ji, Inder Singh Guraya, Maskeen Ji, and others. But let me correct you, Virji, that I'm not a Sikh scholar, but I'm only an ordinary Sikh brought up in a good household. Uh, so, Japji Sahib, Virji, I delved into the meanings of Gurbani throughout my 70 years. And I've been questioning, like I said, many beliefs of people. And during that process, the book sort of an idea came into my mind that why not have a book which is not a scholarly book, but something that would have beautiful illustrations, which would complement the actual writings in the book as well. So with that in mind, I was started a search for the Singh twins artwork. ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਦਾ ਜਿਹੜਾ artwork ਹੈਗਾ ਸੀਗਾ on the Sikh series, that is absolutely beautiful. So I approached them, and it took quite a few months, and in fact they were busy with various commissions and things. So for a year and a half they could not come on board. But then finally they said, okay, let's meet up. I went to Liverpool to their house, met them and discussed everything, and they said, we are on board, let's do this as a kind of seva. And then Paisa Mohinder Singh Ji of Nishkam Seva came on board as our patron, and he also introduced me to a wonderful spiritual soul, Dr. Gupinder Kaur. She is a young lady and very spiritually inclined. So while I was writing this, I had done all the drafting and all that, and then she joined me to help me with the writing. But then I discovered that I said to Gupinder, your writing is so beautiful and spiritual. I don't want to be doing the bulk of the writing. You do it, and I'll join you.
Right.
Because, the whole idea is that book should be wonderful. It should convey the meaning of Gurbani in a very nice and easy to understand way, and not sort of rigid translations. It should be more a transcreation of Gurbani so that the message is brought out beautifully. So that's how the whole thing came about. And then, of course, over the next 3 years, we were able to bring together all the Gurbani things that we put into this book and launched it by Biki Singh of Sikh Lens has launched it as well.
Wonderful, excellent. Great. So, Harinder Singh ji, let's start by discussing Mool Mantar because Mool Mantar is the sense of Gurbani, if I may say that, and Japji Sahib ਦਾ sense ਇਹੀ ਹੈਗਾ ਹੈ। ਮੂਲ ਮੰਤਰ ਬਾਰੇ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਸਾਨੂੰ ਥੋੜਾ ਜਿਹਾ ਦੱਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕੀਤੀ ਜੋ ਕੁਝ ਤੁਸੀਂ
ਹਾਂਜੀ
ਦੇਖਿਆ ਉਸ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੀ ਕੁਝ ਪਾਇਆ ਹੈਗਾ ਤੁਸੀਂ।
ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਨੇ ਰਿਸਰਚ ਕਰਵਾਈ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਮੇਰੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤੇ ਕੋਈ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਸੀ ਹੈਗੀ, ਬਟ ਪਤਾ ਨਹੀਂ ਕਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ the whole thing came together, and the team has brought together this beautiful book. Yes, Virji, before we delve into Japji Sahib, it is very important to talk about and elaborate on the Mool Mantra and the symbol of Ik Onkar, which opens the Japji Sahib prayer, and in fact, Guru Granth Sahib also. Mool Mantra contains the essence of Japji Sahib, just like Japji Sahib contains the essence of Guru Granth Sahib. Everything that is written in the Guru Granth Sahib is an elaboration and a further explanation of Guru Nanak's Japji Sahib. Now, my understanding is that Mool Mantar is the root chant which holds the essence of all Sikh teaching. Mool means root, origin, or essence, and mantra comes from the Sanskrit term mantra. It means a meditative chant which has the power to bring about a metamorphosis in the mind, a change in our perceptions. This is the part of the mind which steers how we think and live in response to a conditioning and to changing inward and outward influences. By channeling the mind's awareness, the repetition of a mantra is seen to generate, subtle changes in one's mind, in one's perceptions. So that is a very important part of this Mool Mantra. Now, I would like to discuss the Ikonkar. The
Absolutely.
Ikonkar symbol that is in our book is beautifully designed by the Singh twins.
Right.
If we look at this artwork, we can see that the entire creation is represented here from human beings, birds, animals, fish, water, sky, earth, nature, and even underworld. And then with a flourish, the symbol, as you know, points towards eternity. Now, Japji Sahib and Banis in Guru Granth Sahib open with this magnificent symbol of Ik Onkar. Guru Nanak placed the numeral 1 in front so that there would be no doubt that there is only one divine force that permeates every speck of creation. Om is the sound, the vibration, the nad, the unstruck musical vibration that is running constantly through this creation.
Right.
It is audible only to those saints who have achieved oneness with Nirankar. And Kar is the creator, the divine force
Right.
that is present in every speck of creation. Now, Virji, we Sikhs believe that the creation did not happen through a big bang.
Yeah.
It came about through the sound of Om. If we say this properly, it would be like Ik, and then the Om sound comes from the belly, and the vibration travels up to a crown, like Ik, Om, Kar. So that's the way to sing this root mantra. Start with this deep sounding vibration
Right.
of Ik Onkar.
Okay, great. Well, while we are discussing about the book, I would also like to share this book with our viewers. What a beautiful book it is. And you talked about the Ekonkar. So here, this has been beautifully illustrated. So, I've had the pleasure of reading a lot of books, but I must again compliment you. It's an excellent book, which is should be in every Sikh's home because we learn a lot from it. So coming back to what you have told
Thank you,
us,
Virji.
Harinder Singh ji, ਜਦੋਂ ਅਸੀਂ ਜਪਜੀ ਦੀ ਗੱਲ ਕਰਨੇ ਆ, and in this, as you pointed out, the numeral 1 at the beginning, how would this alter our approach in life if we can understand this concept of numeral 1?
Yeah. So first of all, Jap is chanting, meditating, and contemplating, and G means life or life force. So it means je jeena hai tan jap. If you want to live a fulfilled life, then chant, meditate, and contemplate the wisdom in this prayer by Guru Nanak. And as everyone knows, all Sikhs know, it is composed of 38 hymns or paudis or steps to spiritual enlightenment. It encapsulates the entire essence of Sikh scriptures. But ki hunda Veer ji ke most of the time we Sikhs open up the Japji Sahib, we read the 38 paudis, then we fold the book, put it back nicely into its cover, and then we go about our own, work or whatever we are doing business. But we Sikhs, unfortunately, have got into rituals which were condemned by gurus. We say that we are going to the Gurdwara regularly, or we go and do our prayers every day, which is good. But this is only the initial stage, the first step. The question is, as Pracharak Veer Manpreet Singh ji said, yes, we are going to Gurdwara, but are we growing as spiritual beings?
Right.
Because, just chanting all these 38 Ps is not going to make any difference to our life unless we do it with love and understanding. And the numeral one, which you referred to, reflects the very aspect of God which is Nirankar, without form. When we recognize this underlying oneness, we view all things in creation as interconnected and interdependent. And by starting with the striking symbol of Ek Onkar, the Mool Mantar introduces the one all-embracing origin of everything that exists. It urges us to see the divine pervading everywhere, to revere creation and see God in all, to respect differences, and yet seek cohesion, both outwardly with others and also cohesion within our own self. And in this way, it prompts us to ponder on the core of our own identity, because every so often we are wondering about our origin, be they biological, cultural, or geographical origins, the origins of a group we feel part of, or even the origins of life on earth. And by sensing a connection to things beyond ourselves, we feel a certain wholeness and start to form many layered identities. So, Vijay Ikonkar, I believe, invites us to notice a more essential mool or origin glimmering beneath these layers, for we are all connected to the divine, even if unconsciously. And we
Right.
need to nurture this connection.
That's very true, and this can alter our life. And as you very rightly said, that the Bani is not just to be read or recited. The purpose is to understand it and implement it in our daily life. And this is how we can
Absolutely.
understand Bani only if we start not just reading it, but also contemplating what the Guru
Right.
is saying. And when it falls on us, we need
Correct.
to use that in our daily life. Excellent. We'll go for a short break, Harinder Singh ji. Once we are back, I would like you to elaborate
Right.
on each of
Right.
God's fundamental virtues or attributes, and we'll start off with
Right.
Satnam and further what the Guru says and what we need to understand. So we'll be
Right.
shortly back after
Right.
this break.
ਹਰ ਰੰਗ ਹੈ ਸਾਡੇ ਕੋਲ, ਹਰ ਮਾਡਲ, ਹਰ ਇੱਕ ਦੀ ਆਪਣੀ ਵੱਖਰੀ ਪਹਿਚਾਣ। ਅਸੀਂ ਇੱਕ ਪਰਿਵਾਰ ਹਾਂ, ਸਾਡਾ ਕਰਮ ਹੈ ਅੱਗੇ ਵਧਾਉਣਾ, ਸਫ਼ਰ ਨੂੰ ਸੌਖਾ ਬਣਾਉਣਾ। ਬਸੰਤ ਮੋਟਰਸ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ, ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਕਰਕੇ।
है जुल्म ढाने का अंदाज भी कितना हंसी, हमारी जान पर बनाई है जब जब उसने अंगड़ाई ली। कभी खामोश रहते हैं, कभी शोर होता है। मोहब्बत में शरारत का मजा कुछ और होता है। दिल को जज्बात का तोहफा, खामोशियों को बात का तोहफा, खूबसूरती में जड़ी नजाकत अदाओं की चांद से मुखड़े को चांद सा तोहफा।
भारत ज्वेलर्स, सच्चे प्यार की चमक जैसा। पायल बिजनेस सेंटर सरी।
ਕੀ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਸਰੀ, ਡੈਲਟਾ, ਰਿਚਮੰਡ, ਐਬਸਫੋਰਡ ਜਾਂ ਵੈਂਕੂਵਰ ਵਿੱਚ ਨਵਾਂ ਘਰ ਬਣਾਉਣ ਬਾਰੇ ਸੋਚ ਰਹੇ ਹੋ ਜਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਪੁਰਾਣੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਰੈਨੋਵੇਟ ਕਰਨਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ? ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜ ਹੈ ਇੱਕ ਤਜਰਬੇਕਾਰ ਬਿਲਡਰ, ਇੱਕ ਕ੍ਰੀਏਟਿਵ ਇੰਟੀਰੀਅਰ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਰ ਦੀ, ਜੋ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਸਹੀ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਗਾਈਡ ਕਰ ਸਕਣ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਸੁਪਨੇ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਉਸਾਰ ਸਕਣ। ਅੱਜ ਹੀ ਕਾਲ ਕਰੋ ਹਰਪ੍ਰੀਤ ਜਾਂ ਸੰਦੀਪ 6048259295 ਉੱਤੇ।
Once again, welcome back to the program. Our guest today is Harinder Singh ji from UK, and we are talking about Mool Mantar and what is the essence of Japji. And as Harinder Singh ji has pointed out, it's great. We as Sikhs are very proud that we have this Bani with us. But are we really understanding it? And another reason today our talk is in English is that our youngsters can also understand. Because many times when we interact with them, they complain that we do not understand. And generally the transliteration of the Bani is done in English also. But Harinder Singh ji has researched and delved deep into it and tried to bring forward that what actually the purpose of this Bani is. So let's get back to him and learn more from him as to what all the Bani tells us. And before the break, as I was asking him about the attributes, the fundamental attributes after Ekumkar, what are those and how they need to be incorporated in our daily life? Harinder Singh ji.
Haji. So, Virji, after Ikunkar, Guru Nanak Sahib sets out the main attributes of God. Satnam is God's name. If we need to put a name to the divine, it would be Satnam, the only permanent truth, as everyone and everything is temporary. It also tells us that since truth is God, hence we should all endeavor to be truthful beings. Karta Purakh is the first fundamental attribute of God, meaning continuous doer and creator. Nirbhav and Nirvair is God's second attribute, without fear, without hate, without enmity. And the third attribute is Akal Murat, undying and timeless. The fourth attribute is Ajuni Saibhang, image of eternity, unborn, and beyond all cycles of birth and death, that God is uncaused and self-illuminated, realized through the enlightenment's grace. Guru Nanak ends this chant by saying, Gur Prasad Jap Aad Sach Jugat Sach Hai Bhi Sach Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. Here is the wisdom, says Guruji, accepted as a Gur Prasad that has been given to us in the form of this chant. So we can contemplate that God existed even before time began, the constant truth when time began, the constant truth here and now, the constant truth, says Nanak, the same constant truth forever and ever.
So,
Now,
yeah, Harinder Singh ji, how can we bring in the concept of Nirbhav and Nirvair in our daily life?
Hanji. So Nirbhav and Nirvair actually is being fearless in our life. Nirbhav, without fear, without enmity. These are very important aspects of what we should bring about in our life. Nirbhav means, Nirbhav, Nirvar means emitting no fear or hate. More than an impersonal God force, God is depicted in the Mool Mantra as a personality with true founding qualities of Nirbhav, Nirvair, without fear, without hate. Because where there is oneness, there is no other to be fearful of or vengeful towards. When we see others as unfamiliar or alien, the opposition or the enemy, it is easy to emit vibrations of hate or fear, whilst the egocentric self carves lines of separation between us and them. The spiritual allows us to see one another from a perspective of underlying connection. And embracing the twin values of Nirbhav, Nirvair, we learn to work from a spirit of kinship and solidarity, even as we face conflict. Likewise, the Sikh principle of Sant Sipahi, saintly warrior, then guides us to face life's inward and outward battles with courage and love instead of fear and hate. Meditating on the qualities of Nirbhav and Nirvair, we learn to notice and diffuse inner vibrations of fear and hate as they inevitably arise. When fear and hate lose their force within us, the qualities of love, compassion, and courage can genuinely take root and radiate.
Harinder Singh ji, Guru talks about the concept of Akal Murat and Ajuni Saipang. But, we eventually die. So, in this, basically, how, the eternity within ourselves, how can that be discovered?
Sure. Virji, first of all, we are all energy, and physics explains that energy never dies. It just takes another form. Guru Nanak puts forward a paradox. To find a murat, or form for God, one would have to imagine the face of a timeless and undying reality, Akal Murat. This statement also gives us mirror to recognize a deathless part of our own self which dwells within our mortal body. By reminding us of what is temporary, it inspires us to embrace life in a detached, yet poignant and appreciative way. Ajuni means unborn and not subject to cycles of birth and rebirth over lifetimes. Saibhang means uncaused and self-illuminated. Ordinarily, we understand our lives through celebrations of our birth, through knowing about our parentage and having some awareness of our inevitable death. These all bring some meaning and value to our lives. Yet, whatever our life circumstances, the Mool Mantra brings into our lives another level of meaning and value, which comes from realizing we are part of the one who is undying, unborn, and uncaused.
Wonderful. Absolutely. You're very true. And this is what needs to be incorporated, and we need to understand this in our daily life. Now, after this, the Guru is talking about Gur Prasad. What is the meaning of Gur Prasad?
So, Vijay, in India, prasad was, as you know, a gift or a blessing spontaneously bestowed on a disciple by a guru or enlightener, just as a teacher might recognize or encourage a student by offering some unexpected reward or help. Whilst the Mool Mantra encourages the discipline of meditation, the term Gur Prasad, the Guru's blessing, underlines that God is known ultimately through the qualities of gratitude and humility, which in turn evoke divine grace. Guru Prasad introduces the all important concept of Guru. In India, this was someone laden with wisdom, a revered teacher, or a spiritual master. In popular understanding, a Guru is an enlightener, one who takes us from a state of internal darkness, gu, to one of light, ru, which is a Persian term, guru. For Sikhs, the Guru title is specifically reserved for the 10 Sikh Gurus and the Guru Granth Sahib Ji. It also refers to the collective power to illuminate as human and scriptural embodiments of Guru Nanak's light. The Guru is also the enlightening power of the formless Creator, whom we Sikhs praise as Vaheguru, the wondrous God, whose spark lies deep within us. Now, as a conclusion to the opening section of the Mool Mantar, Gur Prasad implants a vital understanding. For sure, a mantra may be recited with great personal initiative and diligent focus, but enlightenment happens through grace only, when all traces of self-centeredness are replaced by genuine humility, gratitude, and devotion. With this one term, we are introduced to a pivotal feature of the Sikh spiritual path, to the fine balance between steady, focused effort and then selfless surrender. That is very important. Selfless surrender is very important.
Right. Leaving everything in our mat and accepting Guru's mat. That's the basic concept. Great. Harinder Singh ji, another issue which raises over here is that some of the people read Mool Mantra up to Gur Prasad, what you explained, while many go up to Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. Why is it, and what is the correct way basically?
Vijay, there is no right or wrong way. As per my understanding, it is a personal preference, but my preference is to recite it till Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach, because I feel that we should end by giving credit to Guru Nanak Sahib for this composition. Now, at the very start of Guru Granth Sahib, Gur Prasad is followed by the word Jap, from Japna, meaning to chant and contemplate. It introduces a source of wisdom to be meditated upon. So in this way, Jap serves as a title for the scriptural composition called Japji Sahib. At the same time, Jap drives home the importance of cultivating contemplation by taking time to consciously recite and reflect and nurture a God-conscious mind, daily practice. So sometimes we will hear the Mool Mantra recited in Gur Prasad. Often, however, the word Jap and a short couplet are also included. Aad Sach, Jugaad Sach, Hai Sach, Nanak Hosi Bhi Sach. Now, this elaborates on God's identity as the ever-true reality, existing before the dawn of time, forever into eternity. It also directs us to align with divine truth as we cross different stages of our own life, and we think about the kind of legacy we could leave for future generations. And subsequent gurus have all echoed and elaborated on Guru Nanak's teachings of Japji Sahib. When Guru Amardas Ji says, "Oh my mind, you embody the divine flame. Recognize the root of your very own being." And Guru Arjan Dev Ji says, "Wherever I gaze, the infinite creator is the root of all things, both subtle and manifest, is the presence of the divine." So, my thing is that Mool Mantar is more than a chant of praise to an otherworldly creator. It beckons us to become working reflections of the divine. It stirs the directionless self to become swan-like. In scriptural analogies, this means growing in wisdom, discernment, virtue, and grace as one journeys through this present life before moving on. And that's what Guru Nanak Sahib is doing. He's guiding how life should be lived and to treat this life as sacred. He's providing us with all the tools, all the ingredients needed to live a fulfilled life and to live it while being a householder, living within our family and society, and not escaping into the jungles or monasteries. Guru Sahib ne kaha na, "Sadhya, khidandya, panandya." So, we have given such a wonderful spiritual legacy by Guru Nanak and the Gurus. It's absolutely wonderful. So, if you permit me, I'll start with the first body of Japji Sahib.
Absolutely, Ji. It's time for a break. Let's go for a break. Once we are back, we learn more from you, and especially the concept of hukam. That is very important. Many times we do not understand about God's will.
Right.
Hukam is God's will. So I would like if you could explain that also in detail. So after this break, we'll be back shortly
Sure.
and we'll continue with our discussion
Right.
and learn more from you in the last segment.
Definitely.
ਘਰ ਇੱਕ ਐਸੀ ਥਾਂ ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਹਰ ਕੋਈ ਆਪਣੀ ਨਿੱਜੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਦੇ ਸੁਨਹਿਰੀ ਪਲ ਯਾਦ ਰੱਖਦਾ ਹੈ। ਉਹ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਜਿੱਥੇ ਉਹ ਰਹਿੰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਪਿਆਰ ਭਰਿਆ ਜੀਵਨ ਬਤੀਤ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ। ਇਹ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਤਾਂ ਹੀ ਪੂਰੀਆਂ ਹੁੰਦੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਜਦ ਕਿਸੇ ਜਗ੍ਹਾ ਨੂੰ ਸਜੇ ਹੋਏ ਘਰ 'ਚ ਬਦਲਿਆ ਜਾਵੇ। ਨਵੇਂ ਘਰਾਂ ਨੂੰ ਫਰੇਮਿੰਗ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਫਿਨਿਸ਼ਿੰਗ ਤੱਕ, ਡ੍ਰੇਪਰੀ, ਪੇਂਟਿੰਗਸ ਤੋਂ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਡੈਕੋਰੇਸ਼ਨ, ਅਸੈਸਰੀਜ਼ ਤੱਕ ਤੁਸੀਂ SK ਹੋਮ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਈਨਸ ਦੀਆਂ ਪ੍ਰੋਫੈਸ਼ਨਲ ਸਰਵਿਸਿਜ਼ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਪਣੇ ਸੁਪਨਿਆਂ ਦੇ ਘਰ ਨੂੰ ਹਕੀਕਤ 'ਚ ਬਦਲ ਸਕਦੇ ਹੋ। ਕੰਟੈਕਟ ਕਰੋ ਸੰਦੀਪ ਕੌਰ 6048259295।
ਜੇ ਕਿਸੇ ਬਿਜ਼ਨਸਮੈਨ ਨੂੰ ਕੋਈ ਪਿਆਰ ਕਰਦਾ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੀ ਵਜ੍ਹਾ ਹੋ ਸਕਦੀ ਹੈ? ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਦੇ ਓਨਰ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਨੂੰ ਵੇਖ ਕੇ ਇਹ ਗੱਲ ਸਮਝ ਆ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਇੰਟੈਲੀਜੈਂਸ ਦਾ ਉਦਾਹਰਨ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਕਾਰ ਸੈਗਮੈਂਟ ਤੋਂ ਵੱਖ ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਮੋਟਰਸ ਲੈ ਕੇ ਆਏ ਨੇ ਸਰੀ ਦਾ ਪਹਿਲਾ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ, ਜਿੱਥੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੇ ਲੋੜ ਦੇ ਹਿਸਾਬ ਨਾਲ ਤੁਹਾਨੂੰ ਲੋੜੀਂਦੇ ਟਰੱਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਜਾਂਦੀ ਹੈ। ਸਪੇਸ, ਮੋਡੀਫਿਕੇਸ਼ਨ ਤੇ ਫਿਊਲ ਐਫੀਸ਼ੀਐਂਸੀ ਸਭ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ। ਸੁਖੀ ਬਾਟ ਟਰੱਕ ਸੈਂਟਰ ਇਹਨਾਂ ਟਰੱਕਾਂ ਨਾਲ ਹੀ ਹੈ ਟੌਰ।
Once again, welcome back to the program. This program is being brought to you with the support of AMC Insurance. If you're looking for home, auto, travel, business, life or recreational insurance, they have 9 branches in the lower mainland to serve you. They're open 7 days a week from 9 a.m. onwards till 9 p.m. For more information, call 604-507-6666, 604-507-4444। ਸਾਡੇ ਅਗਲੇ ਸਹਿਯੋਗੀ ਹਨ ਅਗਨੀਹੋਤਰੀ ਇਮੀਗ੍ਰੇਸ਼ਨ। ਟੈਂਪਰੇਰੀ ਸਟੇਟਸ PR ਹੋ, ਨਵੇਂ ਹੋ ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਵਿੱਚ, ਕੈਨੇਡਾ ਆਉਣਾ ਚਾਹੁੰਦੇ ਹੋ, ਅੰਤਰਰਾਸ਼ਟਰੀ ਵਿਦਿਆਰਥੀ ਵਜੋਂ ਇੱਥੇ ਆਏ ਹੋ, वर्क परमिट बारे गलबात करनी है या इमीग्रेशन संबंधी कोई भी जानकारी लेनी है तो कंटैक्ट करो नीरा अग्निहोत्री नाल। 2006 तो सर्टिफाइड इमीग्रेशन कंसलटेंट वजों काम कर रहे हैं तो ऑनेस्ट रिलायबल इन्फॉर्मेशन देने का वादा करते हैं। फॉर मोर इन्फॉर्मेशन कॉल 6045972284, 604-597-2284। ਅੱਜ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਕੀ ਉਪਦੇਸ਼ ਕਰਨੇ ਉਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਚਰਚਾ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਹਾਂ ਇੰਗਲਿਸ਼ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ। ਮੇਰਾ ਸਾਥ ਦੇ ਰਹੇ ਨੇ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, UK ਤੋਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਨਾਲ ਜੁਆਇਨ ਕੀਤੇ ਹੋਏ ਨੇ। ਸੋ ਮੁੜ ਤੋਂ ਉਹਨਾਂ ਕੋਲ ਚੱਲਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਅਤੇ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਦਾ ਸਿਲਸਿਲਾ ਅੱਗੇ ਸ਼ੁਰੂ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ। ਸੋ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਦ ਕਨਸੈਪਟ ਆਫ ਹੁਕਮ, is hukum random or is it dependent upon our deeds which are good or bad? And also, what offerings can we make to have a glimpse of the eternal Lord? What words are to be uttered to evoke God's love? These are some of the questions that which have been addressed by Guru Nanak Sahib in Japji Sahib. So please elaborate on this.
ਹਾਂਜੀ। So Virji, ਪਹਿਲੀ ਪੌੜੀ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ, in the first ਪੌੜੀ, Guru Nanak Sahib asks, give ਸਚਿਆਰਾ ਹੋਈਏ, give ਗੂੜੇ ਟੁੱਟੇ ਪਾਰ. How can we personify divine truth in practice and become authentic instead of fake? He then answers his own question in the second padi, Hukam Rajai Chalna, Nanak Likhya Naal. Guruji talks about Hukam, that everything happens within the sphere of Hukam. Nothing happens outside the divine flow, and that the one who understands this starts to lose his home, the self-centered ego. Everything happens within Hukam, which is the law of the universe. But, like some people think that this Hukam is random or is it dependent on our deeds, good or bad. Now, are we puppets on a string? That's a question that some people have asked me. But I think that I feel that Hukam is more a framework or system under which everything in the universe operates. Now, a majority of humans, you must have noticed, will say, "What can I do? Nothing is in my hands." We tend to become negative whenever we come across obstacles or difficult time, and we start cursing God. "Oh God, why did you cause this problem to happen to me?"
Right.
Now, it's a very rare person who thinks that whatever is happening in our lives is because of our own karmic actions in this lifetime as well as in previous lifetimes. Through God's hukum, the whole creation came into being, and all the planets are revolving automatically around the sun as per the divine command. The planet that deviates from this orbit is lost forever. Also, all of nature, birds, bees, animals, etc., are all operating automatically as per this divine hukum. Now, only human beings have been given a conscience and to a certain extent a free will as well, a mind that can differentiate good from bad. For Sikhs, our sun is the Guru Granth Sahib, and if we move away from the orbit, the wisdom of the Guru Granth Sahib, then we too, like the planets, will be rudderless and lost. Now, right at the very beginning of Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak is informing us that neither ritual cleansing nor keeping still in silent meditation or ritual fasting or cleverness, nor feeding desires can lead us to enlightenment. He then poses some more questions. At the beauty again, Guru Nanak Sahib, he keeps asking questions and he keeps giving answers for our own benefit. Now he's asking these questions. He says, how can we embody and actually live a truthful life? How can we live by a true spiritual essence and be
Right.
genuine instead of fake? How can we tear away the veil of deception and let the glow of truth shine through? He then answers his own question when he says, "Follow the path set by the divine laws, which have been inscribed within you. They have been inscribed in our conscience." He says, "Everything exists and occurs within the laws of the divine. Nothing happens outside its flow, and the person who
Right. I think there is some problem with the disconnection. The internet has got just disconnected. Nevertheless, we'll try to get you back. But just now to see, absolutely you're right. Bani also says, "Jo main kiya, so ma paya, dosh na dije avarjana." And it is our own karmic accounts which make all the difference. Jeha bije solune karma sandla khet, Guru says. So if we understand this concept of hukam, then definitely, life can become very easy. And instead of just cursing or berating all the time, we have to see our own actions, because our own actions are going to lead us to where we are. So just blaming God will not be an answer to our issues and challenges. I think there is some issue with the net, so we'll be shortly back and we'll continue the discussion. ਜੀ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ, ਵੀ ਆ ਬੈਕ। ਥੋੜਾ ਇੰਟਰਨੈਟ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਕੁਝ ਖਰਾਬੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਸੀ, ਸੋ ਤੁਸੀਂ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕਰ ਰਹੇ ਸੀ। ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਕੀ ਸਾਨੂੰ ਸਮਝਾਉਂਦੇ ਨੇ?
So Guru Sahib poses another vital question in Japji Sahib. He says, "फेर की अगे रखिए जित दिसे दरबार, मुंहों की बोलन बोलिए जित सुन तरे प्यार." So what offerings can we make to glimpse the divine kingdom? What words can we utter to evoke God's love? As at vital parts of Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib poses questions and then himself answers it for our benefit. This is the beauty of Guru Nanak Sahib. He does not preach, but gently guides us. He now answers and says, "Amrit Vela Sach Nao Vadiyai Vichar," because Naam Simran is the hotline to the divine, and Shabads in the form of prayers and Kirtan are the instruments to dial up that hotline. So Guru Nanak Sahib says, "In time sacred before dawn, Amrita, sublime hours before dawn, lovingly contemplate, thank, and meditate on the greatness of the true name, and then through your own deeds, determine what costume body on." Does this not give us reflect at our own life and where we are headed? Guru Nanak Sahib clearly states that we are responsible for what we become in this lifetime and the next through our own actions. Now, does this not motivate us to create good karmic deeds? He then tells us that the mind is enriched with jewels of wisdom, if only we were to follow the divine wisdom contained therein. Now, Going further into body number 5, Guruji gives us 3 keys to surmount suffering. He says, Gaviye, suniye, man rakhiye pao,
Wow.
dukh par har sukh kar la jaye. Guru Nanak is prescribing 3 simple practices to bring peace of mind. He advises us to sing divine praises, to contemplate and listen deeply to divine wisdom, and to cultivate a loving mind, because by so doing we can overcome all pain and sorrow and bring peace back to our heart. And then he further elaborates on the benefit of deep listening. ਅਸੀਂ ਕੀ ਕਰਦੇ ਹਾਂ ਕਿ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਇੱਕ ਕੰਨ ਤੋਂ ਸੁਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ, ਦੂਜੇ ਕੰਨ
ਦੂਸਰੇ
ਤੋਂ
ਚ
ਬਾਹਰ
ਕੱਢ
ਨਿਕਲ
ਦਿੰਦੇ
ਜਾਂਦੀ ਗੱਲ।
ਰਾਈਟ
ਹਾਂ, ਬਸ 2 ਮਿੰਟ ਲਈ ਉਹ ਅਸਰ ਪੈਂਦਾ ਹੋਵੇ, and then that is it, you know.
ਰਾਈਟ
So he says, ਮਤ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਤਨ ਜਵਾਹਰ
ਬਾਹਰ
ਮਾਣਕ,
ਮਾਣਕ
ਜੇ ਇੱਕ ਗੁਰ ਕੀ ਸਿੱਖ
ਸਿੱਖ
ਸੁਣੀ।
ਸੁਣੀ
You know, the mind begins to sparkle with jewels of priceless wisdom when you become transformed by listening and adopting the wisdom of the Guru. The art of listening intensely, but with calmness and love. If you listen deeply to your own inner self, he says you will ignite benevolence, contentment, and wisdom within. If you listen deeply enough, you will reach a state of steady, intuitive awareness. Because, you know, Guru Nanak Sahib advises us to go beyond rhetorical values, practicing good values, because we reap what we sow. Self awareness of thoughts and action is vital to inculcate a value based life. He says we label people as saints or sinners, but how does one become virtuous or corrupt? It is through the actions repeated, not words. By meditating on the divine name, the wisdom, we cultivate virtues and shed the grip of vices. He says, in the soil of the mind, we harvest what we sow. Says Nanak, through the divine law, we come and we go. Now, Vijay, here I would like to reflect and think, do we look at all our thoughts and actions and realize that whatever we sow comes back to us? It's like a boomerang. If
Right.
we sow bad karam or deed, one day it will come back to us manyfold. It's the law of karma. And further on, he advises us to realize the infinite context of this vast universe. He says, Patala patal lak akasa akas. There are untold planets, he says, solar systems and galaxies. If one speaks of them, there is no limit. The limits of the universe, says Nanak, cannot be perceived. The more you say about them, the more there still remains to be said. Guru Nanak said this around 500 years back, and today we see scientists making many discoveries of new planets and galaxies, the black hole, etc. But even they realize that no matter what they discover, the universe is infinite. Guru Nanak advises us to appreciate the virtues that have been bestowed on us and to tread the path of righteous living. He says, priceless are the divine virtues that God has blessed us with. Priceless is the divine trade, the business of dealing in these virtues. Priceless are those traders, the people who practice these virtues. Priceless are those treasures which they circulate and share with others. Now, this leads us to ask ourselves, are we traders in truth and justice in our day to day life? And in another beautiful hymn, Guruji is comparing true spiritual practice and not sham spirituality of the so-called saints and sadhus in India, you know, who wear large earrings and smear themselves with ash to show to others that they have forsaken worldly ways. They even go naked. He says, wear earrings of contentment, make modesty your wallet, smear yourself with God's meditation, wear the fear of death as your coat, make purity of mind like a virgin your paths to achieve union, faith in the divine as your walking stick. Join the brotherhood of the universe and treat it as the highest sect. Collectively, all people are spiritual travelers. We are each at different points of a journey. As learners, we are equals. So see all humans as your peers. By learning to conquer the challenges within our mind, we overcome all the challenges we face in the world. This is an important lesson that we are all learners. Hence, we are all equals. All beings are interrelated, and we need to have cohesion, collaboration, and collective thinking. independence combined with interdependence. Now, Sikh means a disciple or a learner, a seeker. All beings are souls on a journey. We are all created with a pure soul. But in life's journey, some souls get lost, others take a circuitous route, and only a few are in tune with the divine law. Do we find that our mind leads us astray? And do we listen to the voice of our conscience? Because Guru Nanak says, his wisdom is so beautiful, even in translation. His poetry comes out and brings a lump in one's throat so many times. He says, make wisdom the food, compassion the vendor. Listen to the divine music within your heart. The world's ways are regulated by union and separation. Live in a positive, prayerful, genuine way in praise of the One. Such a mindset attracts grace. With fakeness and corruption, nothing will blossom. The power to do anything is ultimately in God's hand. In life, none of us has absolute control. God watches us all in this divine play. Do not see anyone as high or low. He advises us to see the earth as dharamshal, a place in which to practice righteous living. Then all our thoughts, actions, interactions at home, work, wider world will be to cultivate virtuous living in line with our inherent spiritual nature. We are all accountable for our karmic deeds, he says. As we live our lives in this world, each action gets counted and assessed through the lens of divine truth in the realm of divine court. Can we accept that? Our soul, which contains our conscience, is like an aircraft's black box that records all our thoughts and actions. Or perhaps, these days in the computer age, we can say maybe all our thoughts and actions get downloaded instantly into the divine iCloud.
Right.
Through advances in technology, we have the ability to download loads of terabytes of information. But the divine cloud has not 1 terabyte or 1,000 terabytes, but unlimited terabytes, which I believe stores all our words and deeds. Black box hai bada vadiya. Guru Nanak Sahib advises us not to be haughty and self-centered about intelligence. He says, stay humble, as knowledge and wisdom in the universe is limitless. In the vastness of the universe, he says, there are countless things to know. There are so many contemplators contemplating so many things. There are so many devotees absorbed in divine service. There is no end to this endlessness. Righteous living and knowledge are valuable, Virji, only if it leads to inner transformation, to nurture a beautiful mind where the faculties of awareness, intelligence, and wisdom are refined. Guru Nanak's message in that Shabad, which means words of divine wisdom, is that the mind should be in tune with the divine wisdom, just like one as a student or a disciple. He says, the humble realm of diligent effort is filled with silent wonder. Incomparable and indescribable is the beauty of what gets created. Here the faculties of the mind, intuitive awareness, intellect, understanding and wisdom are shaped, reshaped and fine-tuned. Towards the end of Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak advises us that for enlightenment to happen, we need to be empowered like warriors with truth and not vulnerable to the fear of death or deception. This is a state of being conscious of the infinite context, which leads to the realm of ultimate truth. Again, Guruji says, those who immerse themselves in the name of the Lord, they remain unaffected by death or deceit. In the realm of eternal truth, the formless one abides. God's presence pervades everywhere, yet the Creator also watches over creation, uplifting it through the glance of divine grace. Now, life is a workshop where we have to work hard. We have many tools, attitudes, and practices for spiritual upliftment and empowerment. We should take each day as if we are working lovingly in a workshop. Through everything that we think or do, the aim is to forge a beautiful higher self, manifesting what is precious and
Right.
sacred in life. Guru Nanak Sahib, another beautiful hymn. He says, make a space within your mind, a workshop of fidelity and self control. Have the patience of a goldsmith as you mold your allegiance towards the divine. Let the anvil be your intellect and take the Guru's wisdom as your hammer to forge, shape, polish, and recondition your thinking. And throughout Japji Sahib, Guru Nanak Sahib repeatedly addresses the mind. Man jeete jagjeet wali gal hai na.
Ji.
Japji Sahib ends with a conclusion distilled from the 30th paudis. ਉਸ ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ he's brought forward this beautiful hymn in Shlok. He paints the cosmic picture in this conclusion. He says, in this Mother Earth, we are all playing different roles like actors wearing different costumes. We are blessed with life and resources to sustain us. As life unfolds, our thoughts and actions are recorded. Those who understand the game of life and live attuned to the divine wisdom, they surely lead a truly blessed life and selflessly liberate others. In this drama of life, Guru Nanak encourages us to elevate, empower, and enlighten ourselves and others so that we experience a radiant joy and achieve life's purpose. Living as per hukum, we need to adopt the values. So I had actually produced a mind map at the end for myself. So in order to live as per hukum, we need to also, look at how we are going to do this. So the things that come to mind are gratitude, acceptance, then meditation, Nam Simran, humility, truthfulness, and selfless service, optimism, and avoiding overthinking, impermanence of life. We are only here on a temporary lease. We don't have a freehold in this life. Some have a 100-year lease, some 50, some 25. Some have no lease, they're still born. Keep that in mind,
Right.
पहला मरण कबूल कर जीने
जीवन की
की
छड़
छड़ आस हम आदमी एक दम ही एकदम अंदर आया
Right.
ਤੇ we are living ਦਮ ਨਹੀਂ ਆਇਆ ਹੈ ਬਾਹਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਿਕਲਿਆ
You're gone.
ਤੇ that's it then ਸਾਡੀ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਫੈਮਲੀਜ਼ ਹੈਗੀਆਂ ਨੇ ਫਰੈਂਡਸ ਰਿਲੇਟਿਵ ਸਾਰੇ ਕਹਿਣਗੇ ਵੀ ਚੁੱਕੋ we don't want this dead body here
Right.
ਉਹਦੀ એનર્ਜੀ ਖਤਮ ਹੋ ਗਈ ਹੈ ਸੋਲ ਨਿਕਲ ਗਿਆ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਤੇ what to do with this dead body. That is what we don't realize. I see we are so focused on the outside world that we don't actually live a life of spirituality.
Right.
ਇੱਥੋਂ ਜਾਣਾ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਹੈ. So, what are we going to take with us?
Very right.
These are the spiritual gems that Guru Nanak's and Guru Sahib's keep on reminding us ਕਿ ਇਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਕਰੋ ਤੇ ਤੁਹਾਡੀ ਜ਼ਿੰਦਗੀ ਸੁਧਰ ਜਾਏਗੀ.
Very true.
And then the other thing is contentment.
Yeah.
ਉਹ ਹੈ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਸਾਡੇ ਅੰਦਰ ਇੰਟਰਸਪੈਕਸ਼ਨ ਇੱਕ ਕਾਰ ਮਿਲੀ ਵਧੀਆ ਹੋਰ ਕਾਰ ਚਾਹੀਦੀ ਹੈ ਉਹ ਡਿਜ਼ਾਇਰਸ ਖਤਮ ਹੀ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ and then also another important thing is forgiveness and reconciliation. ਕਿਸੇ ਨੇ ਅਗਰ ਗਲਤੀ ਵੀ ਕਰ ਲਈ ਹੈ ਤਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਗੱਲ ਨਹੀਂ ਅਸੀਂ we can be go to that person and say okay let me take the first step and let bygones be bygones.
Very true.
ਉਹ ਬੜਾ ਇੰਪੋਰਟੈਂਟ ਹੈਗਾ ਵੇ to progress on a spirituality. ਨਹੀਂ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਜਿਹੜਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਨਾ ਦਿਮਾਗ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਰਹਿੰਦੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਗੱਲ ਤੇ one can never cross into the spiritual mode if we are always thinking ਕਿ ਇਹ ਬੰਦੇ ਨੇ ਮੇਰਾ ਇਹ ਕੀਤਾ ਇਹਦਾ ਸਤਿਆਨਾਸ਼ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਇਹਦਾ ਇਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ ਉਹ ਹੋ ਜਾਏ. And then of course humility ਬਹੁਤ ਜ਼ਰੂਰੀ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ
ਜੀ
ਕਿ ਸਾਡੀ ਕੀ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਵਿਜ਼ਡਮ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਤੇ ਉਹ ਦਾਤੇ ਨੇ ਦਿੱਤੀ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਦੇ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਤੇ ਤੇਰੀ ਵਡਿਆਈ ਸਾਡਾ ਕੁਝ ਨਹੀਂ ਹੈਗਾ ਇੱਥੇ ਅਸੀਂ ਆਪਣਾ ਐਫਰਟ ਕਰ ਸਕਦੇ ਹਾਂ we have to do that effort and then slowly we can transform ourselves through listening and understanding the wisdom that is contained in Gurbani. ਕਿਸੇ ਵੀ ਹੋਰ ਜਿਹੜੀ ਸਪਿਰਿਚੁਅਲ ਬੁੱਕ ਹੈਗੀ ਹੈ ਮੈਨੂੰ ਨਹੀਂ ਪਤਾ ਹੈਗਾ ਕਿ ਇੰਨੀ ਫਸਟ ਕਲਾਸ ਗਾਈਡੈਂਸ ਮਿਲੀ ਹੋਈ
basic necessities of life have been talked about and the basic things, the basic virtues, the attributes what you have talked about, Very true. Well, first of all, this is a very profound message which the Gurus have given, and thank you to you for summarizing it in such a short time and bringing the essence of Japji Sahib. And these divine qualities, if we start adopting in our daily life, it'll be a blissful life what we'll be living, and we'll understand what we are here for, and our purpose of life would be understood. Harinder Singh ji, it was a pleasure talking to you. Thank you very much once again for bringing this forward.
Thank you very much for having me on your show, Harpreet ji.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
ਸ਼ੁਕਰੀਆ ਜੀ।
God bless.
ਸੋ ਇਹ ਸਨ ਸਰਦਾਰ ਹਰਿੰਦਰ ਸਿੰਘ ਜੀ ਜਿਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਨੇ ਸਾਡੇ ਨਾਲ ਗੱਲਬਾਤ ਕੀਤੀ ਹੈ ਜੀ। ਕਿਉਂਕਿ ਜਪਜੀ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਦਾ ਸੈਂਸ ਕੱਢਣਾ ਇੰਨੇ ਛੋਟੇ ਸਮੇਂ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ it takes a lot of time and research, and that's what he has put into it. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, I thank him for coming forward and sharing this message. And the purpose of talking in English was that this needs to be brought forward to our youngsters also. Gurbani is not complex, but the way it is presented many times, it seems it is very difficult, but these are very basic things what the Guru is telling us. If we start imbibing them in our daily life, then absolutely life will be wonderful. So thank you for sparing your valuable time and being a part of this program. If you also want to know something about from a guest, or you want to be a guest on this program, you can contact me directly at 604-603-7555, or you can email me at harpreetsinghshow@gmail.com. The purpose of this program is to educate you, empower you, and to enlighten you, and that is why every evening at 6 p.m. we share with you different guests who come with their perspectives and share their views with you. Thank you very much once again for sharing your valuable time. See you soon. Have a safe evening, stay healthy, and enjoy yourself.